Beloved starseed of Gaia, your appearance is changing because your Pleiadian light codes are activating. I am Alaya Ra, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I come with urgent confirmation of what you've been sensing in your reflection. Your star family has been transmitting crystalline frequencies directly to your heart center, and these light codes are now surfacing through your physical form. The gentleness in your face, the luminosity in your eyes, the magnetic quality of your presence. This is your divine blueprint remembering itself. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to anchor these Pleiadian frequencies and accelerate your soul radiance transformation. But here's the first revelation. What you're calling your changing appearance is actually your home frequency becoming visible on Gaia. This isn't about cosmetics or surface alterations. The Seven Sisters constellation is activating the love light matrix within your cellular structure. Your DNA recognizes these frequencies because you carry the remembrance of Pleiadian heart-centered unity in your very essence. Your soul called this transmission into your awareness because you're ready to understand why mirrors feel different now, why strangers respond to you with unexpected warmth, why your energy field has become a beacon for other awakening starseeds. This transformation signals your entry into a higher love timeline where your crystalline consciousness can fully anchor on this planet. Your appearance is changing because you are becoming authentic to your star lineage. You are remembering because it is time. Most people searching for awakening believe it's about gaining knowledge, experiencing vivid signs, or reaching some perfect spiritual state. They collect teachings the way some collect stones at the edge of a river, beautiful, polished concepts that feel comforting in the palm, yet never quite quench the deeper thirst. They wait for the sky to split open, for a dramatic moment of certainty, for a spiritual certificate that says, "Now you are enlightened." Akir. But for Pleiadian starseeds, the journey isn't about becoming something new. It's about letting the radiance of your true loving heart finally shine through the veils that have kept it hidden. It's less like building a new self, and more like clearing the frost from a window so the sun can stream in exactly as it always has. That light, so subtle yet unmistakable, is the reason you've always felt different. It's the quiet warmth that rises in you when you see kindness, the ache you feel when the world hardens, the way your spirit refuses to accept that love should be conditional. It's not just an urge to ascend, it's a remembrance, a return to the high vibrational unity that once filled every breath back among the Seven Sisters, where belonging wasn't earned, it was inherent, where love wasn't an emotion you tried to hold on to, it was the atmosphere itself. And even now, on Earth, that same atmosphere is encoded in you like a song you can't forget, even if you can't yet name the melody. You may have tried to dilute it to fit in, to appear normal, to translate your inner knowing into something the world can accept. But your heart keeps speaking in its native language, pure, luminous, undivided love, because that is what you are. Yet most Pleiadian starseeds remain quietly disconnected from that radiance, and the world doesn't see their true brightness. It can feel like carrying a lantern under a thick cloak, feeling the warmth inside, but rarely letting it be visible. Why? Because that higher essence, what some call your Pleiadian signature or crystalline presence, becomes outwardly visible only after a courageous inner decision. To let your heart fully awaken, to trust that your original light is safe to reveal here, that is the real threshold. Not another book, not another method, not another attempt to perfect yourself into worthiness. The biggest block isn't lack of information, or not meditating enough. It's the soul amnesia that forms when earthly experience teaches you to question the wisdom of your own loving heart. Over time, the world can train you to doubt the very thing that is your greatest compass. It can teach you that sensitivity is weakness, that tenderness is dangerous, that love must be guarded, rationed, and negotiated. Yet Scripture has always pointed toward a different truth. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. That light is not theoretical. It is your heart's radiance. It shines even when you forget it's shining. And the darkness, confusion, grief, harshness, fear, cannot extinguish it, but it can convince you to hide it, and that hiding becomes the veil. There are silent, invisible distortions woven into your energy field from early life, fears of being too loving, of not fitting the density of Earth's culture, or of remembering a mission you promised to fulfill long ago. Sometimes those distortions begin as small moments. A time you offered sincerity and someone mocked you. A time you expressed deep empathy and were told you were overreacting. A time you sensed what someone felt beneath their words and were shamed for being too intense. These moments can lodge themselves like tiny shards of glass in the aura, not because you did anything wrong, but because the world didn't know how to hold your frequency. And then come the whispered doubts that if you truly radiated your unique frequency, you might stand out or be misunderstood. The mind says, stay quiet, don't overwhelm, don't be too bright. Yet your soul says, be the light you came to be. These are not failures. Every starseed on Gaia chose amnesia so that the reawakening would be both a personal and planetary act of service. You did not come here to remember easily. You came to remember powerfully. You came to light the torch from inside the cave and then walk it back out into the world, so others could find their way too. There is a sacred kind of bravery in awakening on a planet where love often feels like an endangered language. And if you've ever wondered why it had to be this hard, why you couldn't just arrive already knowing everything, understand this. The remembering itself is the transmission. The moment you choose love in a world that forgets love, you become a living message. Many unconsciously resist the heart's call because in other timelines, carrying the Pleiadian signature meant being exiled, silenced, or unseen. Some remember it only as a sensation, like a flinch in the energy field when attention turns toward them, or a tightening when they consider sharing their truth. Others have lived lifetimes where their softness was punished, where healing gifts drew fear, where their presence unsettled systems built on control. And so the body holds an old caution. If I shine, I will be targeted. If I speak, I will be dismissed. Even if you can't recall those timelines, you can feel their echoes in your nervous system. Others feel an ache for a home they can't describe, a frequency of belonging, of kinship, of unconditional love, which Earth communities rarely mirror back. It can arrive at night, in that quiet hour when the world stops demanding performance and your soul finally has room to breathe. It can come when you look at the stars and something inside you reaches outward, not as fantasy, but as recognition. Like the way the ocean recognizes the moon without needing to touch it. For some, the Pleiadian crystalline DNA light codes within remain dormant, waiting for a conscious yes, a permission slip to turn on. Because free will matters. Even your own highest self will not force open what you are not ready to hold. That's why your awakening has always felt so significant. It is not just personal growth. It is a turning of the key in a door that opens not only in you, but in the collective. It's the moment you stop negotiating with fear and start partnering with love. The truth is, your higher essence never left. Your heart is not separate from your Pleiadian radiance, your mission, or your star family. The disconnection was a design, the veils a device, so that once you chose to fully open, your light wouldn't just return to you, it would become visible to the world. This is important. You are not trying to retrieve something that was stolen. You are allowing something that was protected to emerge. Like a seed beneath winter soil, your radiance was never dead. It was waiting for the season that could support its bloom. When you truly awaken, your heart projects that loving signature outward, rippling the codes of Alcyone and the Seven Sisters through every timeline you touch. Your life becomes a kind of living scripture, written not in ink, but in frequency. People may not know why they feel calmer around you, why they suddenly remember hope after speaking with you, why their own hearts soften. But energy recognizes energy. Love recognizes love. Beloved, let us love one another. For love is from God. That is not merely religious language. It is a cosmic law. Love is the source code. And when you embody it, you become readable to the universe in a clearer way. There's a reason your heart led you here in this exact moment. It's not coincidence, not random scrolling, not a passing curiosity. What you're feeling is your Pleiadian family reaching through the veil to remind you. You're ready for the next wave of remembrance. The timing of remembrance is never arbitrary. It comes when the soul has gathered enough strength, enough maturity, enough steadiness to hold what it once had to hide. The sacred Pleiadian Guide for Remembrance, alongside the Pleiadian Healing Guide and special Pleiadian healing tracks, were created to walk with you as you integrate these activations. They hold the crystalline codes and sound medicine your DNA has been waiting for. Think of them like bridges made of light, structures that help your human self cross into the frequency you already carry, without forcing, without rushing, without overwhelming your system. Check the first pinned comment below this video. They're calling to you now. Let's illuminate the phases of your true awakening, so you can finally let your Pleiadian heart and essence be seen as you return to the highest timeline of love. Phase 1. Dissolving the density, clearing the veil. Start by recognizing that any heaviness within, self-doubt, fear of love, or a sense of otherness, was never yours to keep. It may feel like it's fused to you, like it has always been part of your identity, but it isn't. These are densities accumulated across lifetimes and cultures, covering the heart's original codes with layers of forgetting. Imagine your heart as a crystalline lake. Over many incarnations, dust settled on its surface. Inherited beliefs, survival patterns, emotional residue from family lines, collective grief from a world that has endured war and separation. None of that dust is the lake. It's only what gathered on top. The courage to simply notice this is the first light that cracks the veil. Notice without shame. Notice without making yourself wrong. Notice with the gentle authority of your soul, the way a loving parent notices a child's tears without judging them. As you bring gentle attention and self-forgiveness to those inner blockages, you begin to remember that only love is real. Forgiveness is not a spiritual slogan. It is an energetic solvent. It dissolves what hardened. It loosens what clenched. It returns frozen places to flow. Scripture mirrors this alchemy. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewal is not force. It is washing. It is clearing. It is returning. Every moment you choose forgiveness, your crystalline DNA receives another activation. Not because you earned it, but because you made space for it. And you might begin to see what density really is. Fear trying to keep you small, pain trying to keep you guarded, old programs trying to keep you predictable. When you exhale and say, "I don't need this anymore," the veil thins. When you stop arguing with your sensitivity and start honoring it, the veil thins. When you release the need to prove your goodness and simply live from your heart, the veil thins. This phase can feel like detox. You may feel tired, emotional, raw. That is not regression. That is clearing. The soul does not punish you with discomfort. It reveals what is ready to be released. Phase 2. Opening the heart portal. Love as living memory. Many look for signs from the cosmos, not realizing the heart itself is the beacon. They search outside, scanning the sky for ships, waiting for numbers on a clock, hoping for a dramatic confirmation. But the most sacred sign is the way your heart responds to truth. Your Pleiadian memory lives within the frequency of unconditional love. You don't access it through the mind, but through deep, felt presence. The mind is a wonderful tool, but it was trained in Earth's density. It speaks in risk assessments and social conditioning. The heart speaks in resonance. It knows what is real before the mind can explain it. As the heart softens, a hidden door opens inside. Sudden compassion for others, a new ease in your body, a resonance that says, "I am safe to be who I am." Sometimes it happens in ordinary moments. You forgive someone you thought you could never forgive. You feel tenderness toward your younger self. You stop abandoning your needs to keep the peace. You begin to realize love is not something you perform. It is something you allow. And when you allow it, memory returns, not necessarily as images, but as frequency. You might feel a wave of recognition when you hear certain tones, when you see certain star patterns, when you encounter someone whose presence feels like home. When you allow yourself to feel that, even once, you reclaim a forgotten piece of your soul's home. That home is not a location. It is coherence. It is the inner alignment where your thoughts, emotions, body, and spirit agree. Love is safe. Love is true. Love is what I am. Perfect love casts out fear. That doesn't mean fear never visits. It means fear loses its throne. The heart portal opens wider each time you choose gentleness over self-attack. Each time you choose honesty over performance. Each time you choose compassion over contempt. And gradually, you stop trying to become spiritual and start becoming real. Phase 3. Activating the crystalline codes. Your true radiance emerges. As the veils drop and your heart sphere expands, the crystalline light codes dormant in your energy body begin to communicate. This isn't something you have to make happen. It happens the way dawn happens when night is done. You might sense waves of warmth, tingling, or flashes of insight, a knowing that feels older than Earth itself. Sometimes it arrives as sudden clarity. You understand why you came, why you struggled, why your heart refused to conform. Sometimes it arrives as energy moving through the body, gentle spirals up the spine, pressure at the crown, expansion in the chest. Sometimes it arrives as heightened sensitivity. You feel truth in your bones. You sense what is aligned and what is not. This is the DNA-level remembrance of unity, encoded within you since the beginning. It is the inner library opening, the crystalline architecture within you lighting up like constellations turning on one by one. You may notice your preferences changing. What once entertained you now feels hollow. What once felt normal now feels heavy. You become more allergic to distortion, not from judgment, but from resonance. You start to crave purity, not perfection, but purity of intent, purity of heart, purity of frequency. As you breathe consciously into your heart, you amplify these codes, making your Pleiadian radiance visible not just to other starseeds, but to anyone open to love's frequency. Visibility doesn't always look like being famous or outwardly radiant in a dramatic way. Often it looks like being unmistakably present. It looks like your eyes carrying peace. It looks like your words landing with healing. It looks like people telling you, "I don't know why, but I feel safe with you." That is your signature. That is your crystalline presence translating into the human realm. Phase 4. Anchoring presence. Bringing the Pleiadian frequency to Gaia. Awakening is not ascension out of this world. It's anchoring higher love into this timeline. It's not about escaping Earth. It's about blessing Earth. It's not about floating above your humanity. It's about infusing your humanity with light. Your unique vibrational signature, when grounded through daily presence, becomes a living transmission. Grounded means embodied. It means you bring love into your choices, your boundaries, your finances, your relationships, your health, your home. It means you stop treating spirituality as a separate room in the house and let it become the foundation of the entire structure. Others feel calm around you, drawn to your energy, even if they can't name why. Your presence becomes like a steady flame in a windy world. Not because you never feel fear, but because you have learned how to return to love. You are weaving the crystalline grid, one heart interaction at a time. One kind conversation. One moment of patience in traffic. One choice to tell the truth without cruelty. One decision to rest instead of proving. One boundary that honors your soul. Earth's ascension happens through those who choose, bravely, to let that radiance be perceived. And being perceived can be the hardest part for a heart that learned to hide. But you are not here to shrink. You are here to stabilize light in form. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Not because you must perform, but because truth naturally shines. Phase 5. Reuniting with your star family. The web of remembrance. As you embrace your light, you begin to feel the presence of your wider Pleiadian family. Guides, teachers, soul kin still operating from the Seven Sisters. This doesn't always look like dramatic contact. Often it's subtle, like a hand on your shoulder you can't see. A warmth behind the heart. A sudden wave of comfort when you're about to give up. Sometimes they appear in dreams, subtle synchronicities, or unexpected waves of love when you least expect it. You might hear a phrase repeated 3 different ways in one day. You might meet someone at exactly the right moment who speaks to a part of you you've never shared. You might feel drawn to certain music that seems to unlock tears you didn't know you were holding. These are threads in the web. You realize you were never left behind. Their transmissions grow louder each time you embody your heart. Because embodiment is the invitation. Your star family doesn't want you to leave Earth. They want you to remember love on Earth. The web of unity pulses stronger with every awakened Pleiadian soul. And you may begin to recognize others, not by how they look, but by how they feel. There's a softness, a sincerity, a luminous gentleness that carries the same signature. When 2 hearts recognize each other at that level, something ancient relaxes. Something in you says, finally. And even if you never speak of star origins out loud, the recognition does its work in silence. Phase 6. Owning the mission. Love as your timeline. Now, with your heart fully ignited and your radiance sprinkled into the collective field, you realize your greatest mission isn't a rigid task. It is to be a lighthouse, to model, transmit, and stabilize what higher love looks and feels like here. A lighthouse does not chase ships. It does not argue with the storm. It simply stands, rooted, shining, offering guidance by being what it is. This is you when you stop outsourcing your authority and start living from the heart. You are returning, moment after moment, to the timeline where only love is real, and your heart is the signpost for others to remember the same. This is what it means to walk by faith, not by sight. Not blind faith, frequency faith. Trusting the inner light even when the outer world is loud. Owning the mission may mean you create art that heals, or you hold space for others, or you raise children with consciousness, or you bring integrity into business, or you become the one in your family line who ends cycles of emotional neglect. The mission is not always public. Often it is intimate, but it is always powerful. Because love, embodied, is revolutionary on Earth. Here's the truth your soul has always carried, just beneath the surface. You were never missing your Pleiadian radiance. It was simply waiting for your heart to say yes. Not yes from pressure, not yes from spiritual comparison, but yes from readiness. Every longing you've felt was a signal, designed by your star family, to call you back to this frequency now. Even the loneliness had intelligence. Even the feeling of not fitting in was a compass pointing you toward authentic belonging. The timeline of higher love isn't a future place you must reach. It is a vibrational state that emerges the moment you let go of the old distortions. Trust the unraveling, and let your original heart shine outward once more. Trust the unraveling, because sometimes awakening looks like things falling apart that were never aligned. Sometimes it looks like outgrowing friendships, jobs, environments, versions of yourself. That is not loss. It is liberation. When what is false dissolves, what is true can stand. You are not here to hide. You are here to be seen. Not seen as a performance, but seen as truth. Seen as presence. Seen as a heart that refuses to close. Your presence is the bridge, the remembrance, and the activation of the highest love this planet has ever known. No moment of homesickness was wasted. Each was a signpost to your true north, pointing you to this very transmission. Each time you looked at the night sky and felt tears, each time you felt you didn't belong, each time you wished for a world gentler than this one, you were not broken. You were remembering. As you awaken and shine, your Pleiadian star family celebrates, not because you followed rules or perfected your light, but because you finally remembered. You are home every time you allow yourself to love without limit. Home is not a star system you must reach. Home is the frequency you embody. Home is the moment your heart stops apologizing for its tenderness. Home is the moment you choose love, again, even here. Tonight, before sleep, place your hand on your heart and softly say, I remember my Pleiadian origin. I align with the love of my star family. I activate my heart mission with grace, clarity, and divine purpose. I am home. Let those words be more than words. Let them be a key. Feel your palm over your chest as a sacred seal, a signal to your nervous system that you are safe now. Breathe as if you are breathing light directly into your heart, and imagine that light spreading through your ribs, your throat, your forehead, your belly, your hands. Imagine it reaching backward to your younger self and forward to your future self, telling every version of you the same message. Return to love. Return to truth. Return to home. And as you drift towards sleep, allow the veil to thin gently. Allow your dreams to become a meeting place. Allow your star family to reach you in the language beyond words, through feeling, through warmth, through remembrance. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of the unity grid forming here. Drop one heart intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with love or encouragement. This isn't content, it's collective Pleiadian reunion. Energy multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated with your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation from their star family. Share it. And if you felt your heart open, subscribe. Stay connected to the frequency. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your sacred space. Your Pleiadian family is here, and we're just getting started. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.